Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are here with our, unless there's a season 2, final Frieren, I would say episode. It's an episode for us, it's not an episode
Yeah.
of the show. Sorry, I also got thrown a bit while I was saying it because I'm looking at the thing I want to read, and then you logged into that too. I was like, whoa, wait.
Yep.
Um, we are here to do character rankings. We have, if you're new to any Stoneface Reactions character ranking thing, we have done this all off screen. We have the chart as you're looking down here, blanked off. And new system, we've only kind of used it once before with Macross. So if you've seen the Macross thing, you'll know what it is. But for new people and anybody here for the first time, our character rankings are made on a criteria of 5 items: 1, distinctive personality; 2, compelling backstory; 3, iconic visual design; 4, emotional resonance; and 5, significant character development. And we've each individually ranked these people on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these categories, and our combined scores then indicate where they fall on a ranking chart, or sorry, a tier list between S and F. Obviously, F being the worst and S being the best. Now, just moments before we started recording, Justin told me that people he didn't remember maintained the middle of the road score.
So it's very simple for me. 5 is just average. So if I do not dislike the character, but they're just there, to me that's a 5. And that's on any of the
Sure, sure. But what you literally have just
any of the
said,
scales.
literally what you've just said is if I don't remember them, they get a 5.
That is a lot of a part of it, but it's very like there's a couple on here I'm like, who the hell is that again? But for the most part, I either barely if I remember, but I'm like, barely, then that's lower. Like it's 5 is just average, middle of the road.
See, if I don't remember you, you're gonna get like a 1 in distinctive personality because I don't remember you. So your personality wasn't distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
Compelling backstory, don't know it, don't remember you. That's a 1. Emotional resonance, didn't resonate too hard, don't remember you. 1.
I get it.
Significant character development, don't know what your character development was, don't remember you. 1. The only thing you can get any score in is iconic visual design because I've got an image. I know what you look like. So the fact that you shared that before we started, okay, the first thing we need to do, first I'm gonna click this, and then we're gonna reveal what F tier rank characters there were. Because there were none. Because you did a 5 on everybody, no matter what they were.
Hey, no, I have lower than 5s on
Okay, yeah,
a
that is
fair
true.
fair amount of them.
Fair to Justin here. That is true. I'm just saying that
Hmm?
I was the harshest critic of anybody on this, and I know that I'm going to say it now. I'm not revealing anybody's scores on any particular items. This is
Mm,
only our congregate scores. That's all we're
yes.
revealing here. But
Well,
you shared that before, and
yeah.
I just had to. That felt like a revelation that I needed to share with everybody else.
I also
Normally,
think realistically looking at Frieren, like there was no F tier characters.
I would argue that possibly there were, but that's a relative score sort of thing.
Mhm.
If you only because the system is independent. I could, for example, take all of this and say if we did a Plut. No, I couldn't do. The difficulty here is that you and I have not finished another show by
Yeah.
ourselves yet, so we have no medium. I could say we could take this system and apply it to say Macross that me and Lessons did, but that wouldn't be accurate because that's me and Lessons, not me and you. And then we couldn't
Mhm.
do it for Pluto because there's a third party involved there too. But the idea is that if you and I finish another show after this and we did another character tier, technically we could take those characters and put them on one mega chart and it would still apply because it's not measured by any other medium. So right
Correct.
now, these are all in a vacuum, and I could say
Yes.
a number of characters in Frieren could fall on the F tier as compared to other characters in Fear.
I see that. I see that.
And like I said, I was harsher than you are, and that's the only meta narrative that I'm going to throw out there. If somebody falls low on the list, it's probably because of me, and if they're high on the list, it's because of both of us.
There's some people that I think I might pull to the middle versus have high.
I guess that's the other thing we should share. I'm the only one that's seen both of our numbers. I read my numbers by myself. Justin then sent me his numbers. I did the calculations. Justin doesn't know what I've done. Justin only knows what he's done, and I'm not sharing my numbers. He has no access to my numbers.
Hell yeah.
So, we've seen that there's no Fs, but what about the D tier? Oh, I should also say, there's typically a bell curve to this, and there is a weird bell curve on the Fear chart, mainly because there's no F tiers.
Yeah.
D rank. We got Basalt to the Throne, the King, Gable, and a ton.
So
And this
you
is,
have hit one of the characters that I'm like, who the hell was that again?
well, one, I knew we were having no Fs the moment I saw that what you ranked the King at. A man I'm almost certain had no voice lines and was only mentioned by other people in 2 episodes. I'm pretty sure Ton may have had more voice lines, which is to say, none that I remember either.
hmm
Well, which is the one that you couldn't remember?
Um, Ton, barely remember, and I only remember the guy beside Ton because of the mustache.
Yeah, Ton was one of the examinees, and I believe he has a conversation just outside when they complete the second exam. Because he had to be evacuated, and he is going on. No, sorry, the girl is talking to him about it, but otherwise, I don't even think he features until the exit. And of course, Gable is a certain man's servant.
hmm
I thought you were going to say you didn't remember Basalt the Throne.
No, I do remember Basalt the Throne. The only reason I remember Basalt the Throne is because the backstory was an average cool bad guy backstory that we got a slight sign of, and he looks cool as shit.
I'll also bring up, of course, the fact that if anybody is looking at this, the numbers underneath the characters is their overall score. That's why they're all D tier. They're between 35 and 20.
Yeah.
All right, then. Next up, C tier, which is one of our very large tiers. I have to scroll across.
Yeah.
Anybody in here that you didn't expect to be in C?
So far, no. Actually, yes, one.
Which is,
Mutt.
why did you not expect them to be in C tier?
Only because Mutt wasn't around for long, but Mutt was around for some real cool story stuff for Stark. So I figured that might pull him up just above C.
So, you think Mutt should have been higher ranked because he was present for somebody else's story?
Yes, because he was a very clear mirror to some of the experiences of Stark, and that gave him some more purpose within the story.
Would you not argue that that would raise Stark's story?
I think it raises both.
Mm. I would say I was probably middle of the road on Mutt only because everything about him is not about him. The character development of Mutt is his father's character development, and the mirror to Mutt is Stark. Those
Yep.
two get the distinctive backstories, the character development points. Mutt doesn't even talk. All we see is him waggling his sword about.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. And the one that doesn't surprise me is Methode, because I figured I would pull Methode lower than you would have her placed.
I mean, she's quite literally middle of the road. A 50 is the middle score you could possibly get, which means
Yeah.
that we both ranked her kind of the same. Well, it's either that or one of us ranked her really high and the other one really low. For my money, Mutt would have been F tier.
I could see that.
Characters that have no of their own quality kind of drop low in my eyes. It's kind of why the demon party is mostly here. You know, Drott and Line. Line
Yeah.
has kind of a pull, but Drott is kind of like the first one down. He didn't really get anything to do. The
Yeah. I
unfortunate
think
had to fight Frieren guy.
I think we found one character here who is in the perfect spot though. Jeannot at the end of this level. I think that is the perfect spot for him.
Well, I mean, he didn't really have that much to do. He created a test he didn't have to interact with and just kind of
Exactly.
watched. And of course, the 1010 of the series, Laufin. I
What does
don't
that
know.
mean?
1010 is a character from Naruto that she's
Got it.
kind of like 1010 is like a weapons master who's part of a three-person group
Yep.
that doesn't really have a ton of backstory or actual character development. She's just there and helps support the team, which is
Yeah.
what Laufin does. I don't know.
Lawson had potential to be higher, but what was just clearly not meant to be one of the focuses.
I gave her good points for character development because her and Denkin. She's like, he's not your grandpa, that sort of thing.
For me, my highest point with Lawson was distinctive personality. I
Oh,
my character development for her was low.
I don't know. I didn't think she had much of a personality. That was the whole rub against her. It's just the whole, you know, her and Denkin at the end with just harassing Richter. That's what I remember her for.
Mhm.
All right, moving up to B tier, 52 through 67. Anybody sticking out to you as maybe thought would be higher or lower?
Surprise Land is not an A.
Well, you know, Land didn't have a backstory because he hid every fucking thing about himself.
Yeah, I'll give you that
Or
one.
he also didn't have any character development.
You definitely raised Aura higher than I would have put her.
Oh yeah, I was disappointed when I had to see Aura. Everybody was done alphabetical order. That's why people with the similar scores are also in alphabetical order. A and E, 55, 55, Kane, 55.
Mhm.
So Aura was the first person I put up, and I thought, oh, Aura's gonna be high up there. She's very distinctive. She's got a backstory. She's everything. She hits all of the boxes. And it's like, oh, people are getting higher than her. And of course, we know why the chef is above her. I wonder.
Yeah,
The guy with no backstory or input into the entire thing.
he does have backstory. He has the recipe that he worked hard on, which he actually improved.
No, he didn't. Remember?
According to Frieren, it's better.
No, Frieren said it's actually worse.
No, she did not.
He said it would never, no one would ever do better. And then she was like, that's the whole thing about cooks, is they always think they're the best and no one's ever going to improve. And then he said, oh yeah, generations to come, we'll have the best whatever they were eating at the time thing. And the other guy, because obviously Lecker is fucking dead by then, the
Mhm.
other guy comes around and she smiles and said, "This is worse than it was before." And she's just happy that it changed at all because her whole point was cooks are always set in their ways. And this guy was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll prove you wrong." And actually tried to change. He did it for the worse, but he tried.
I'm also surprised that Sign's brother is as high as he is, but I'm not that surprised.
I mean, arguably, he has exactly as much characterization in his arc as Sign does.
Yeah,
So all Sign had the benefit of was spending more time with us, so
yeah.
we would learn it.
And
Otherwise, him and Hyder kind of, developed
yeah.
together, kind of like on the same path as Fern.
Also, Qual being at the top of B, perfect spot.
Yeah, I think Qual got dragged down by you. Qual is
I
one of
wouldn't be
the
surprised.
the alternative examples of where you kind of had a middling average higher score than I did. Qual was like, oh god, I love Qual. Qual's got backstory. Oh, that's one of them. You did not think Qual had a good personality, I believe.
Because we didn't see personality. He designed a spell and that's it.
Oh no, he is like there in the middle of combat trying to figure everything out. He's going over his own backstory in his own head. He's like, I've developed this spell and I'll prove that it's the best, not realizing he's been frozen in time. And then he like congratulates them with his own death for outdoing his own brilliance.
Qual was a part of an episode villain to show their power.
He was
He
also
looked
our
cool and had
he
a dope
oh yeah,
backstory.
no, he looked awesome. But no, he was like our very first touch with, oh, Frieren has an active backstory. Because before then, it was just her wandering around, remembering her adventures with the party, and then it's like,
I
oh,
get it.
people she interacted with are kind of still alive. He was our pre-Aura Aura.
Which is why I rated Aura not that great and Qual even worse.
Yeah, like I said, there's characters that we are opposites on, and then there's characters that we're middle of the road on, and then obviously the characters that can get higher than this are characters we both had to agree on.
Yes,
Nobody gets to A and S tier with both of us disagreeing on any aspect.
agreed.
Speaking of which, going into A tier, and tell me your thoughts as I scroll along so the audience can see.
One, two. This order to me seems so great.
I honestly think it's kind of weird, but I'm not done scrolling, so you continue.
Uh like there's a couple that I thought would be like switched around,
There's two
but
that
to
I
me,
specifically think would have been switched around, and I thought was very funny.
I'm guessing it's Stark and Denkin.
Nope.
No?
It's a very funny combo when you realize the similarities.
Oh, is it Eisen and Vol?
There you go. The two dwarves, but the one that was in the party is the lower ranked dwarf.
Yep.
We got a lot more Eisen than we ever did Vol. And Vol
That's
outranked
what did it
Eisen.
for me. That's what did it for me. Vol was sick the time that we had with Vol.
I'll be honest, I obviously had to have agreed, otherwise, well, I don't know. What's the score difference? 2 points. 2 points, maybe it was only slight disagreement.
Well,
I do think
also,
Vol had the better compelling backstory, the whole wife forgetting thing. I also think he's a better looking dwarf. I told you it right in the first episode. You said,
yeah,
I love the way Eisen looks. And I said, I don't know. He's the one pulling me out of out of the
yep.
visuals.
Well, Vol for me got two tens. One from character development because god damn the wife thing and then the everything hit. Same with the emotional resonance. He's just a dude who's keeping a promise. You can't beat that.
I mean, you're saying that oh goddamn the wife thing. You remember Eisen is stays put because he's looking over the graves of his family?
But that's different. That's a whole family versus that devotion to it's different.
Oh, it's too much.
Uh,
His devotion
yeah,
to one person is ruined for Eisen because Eisen is watering the floor with it.
that's clearly what it must have been.
Again, it's a 2 point difference with, and I again don't know,
Mhm.
but it puts Vol in the same category as like Hyder. So again,
You,
it
yeah.
makes also Eisen obviously by the chart that you're looking at here the lowest ranked member of the original team.
Um, I think series placement makes sense from what we've seen.
I don't know. I kind of imagined that she would have been higher, but it's kind of a nebulous thing considering most of their development comes at the very end of the show. However, that also might attribute to a recency bias. So,
Mhm.
I'll also mention that somehow we both forgot Denkin wasn't on the list originally, and we kind of had to last minute
Yeah.
include him.
Funny enough, I so far I think we're hitting the perfect people to put at the top of each rank.
You mean Ubel?
Ubel, Qual, Loffen, and Basalt the Throne. I think, it, as I would put it, they those are the correct spots for them.
I mean, if I had to say who the most memorable was of all the D tier people, yeah, maybe. I mean, he has the most memorable look to him. Yeah, I guess maybe. I think the king almost kind of rides on the fact that yeah, most fantasy stories have a king. So
Mhm.
I don't know, C tier though. I think I just got a thing for Lange in that she had a lot of character development,
Yeah.
but other than that, yeah, I mean she's kind of in the same boat as Lene, a side
I,
character development story.
I think Richter falls into the category where he's lucky enough that he was focused on.
Well, he was focused on a lot because of Denkin.
It was because of Denkin. Then they did the like the lamp store thing as well, and the staff, and there was enough moments that brought him up.
Well, yeah, I mean, because without the staff story for Fern, I mean, well, with only the staff story for Fern, Richter would have appeared one more time. But Denkin kind of going over that, hey, we're a party no matter what now, because we've had this
Mhm.
shared experience, keeps coming back to Richter. That creates the whole thing, and that's what lifts Richter up. If Richter was just test one fighting against Lane and Kane, that would have been nothing. Richter would have fallen down the chart. It's Denkin that lifts Richter up, gives him the
Agreed.
opportunity to say stuff. I think
Agreed.
the other person who got lifted up here was Lugner.
Yeah, you would have lifted Lugner.
Had to. Anyone looking here on the overlay recognizes that technically my artist, lifted up Lugner. I got tied to the man by being drawn as
Actually,
him.
you know what? No, I'm surprised. Going my rankings for Lugner are surprising. There's a couple surprisingly high stats on there.
Well, he's also the leader of the demon group under Aura, so
Yeah,
he's got the most development. Plus, he goes up against Fern, which means he gets the most talky because was it Line goes up against Stark, and that's mostly a Stark action piece.
yeah.
Stark does the talking there. So, all right. Well, we have S tier left. You want to make a bet who wins S tier? It may surprise you. Remember, it's only half you. The other half comes from me.
Okay, hold on.
You know who you really liked. What do you bet who I really liked to put against your score?
I think Just going through the whole list.
All right, your whole list plus everybody you've seen on the board already.
Oh, I'm not even worried about the people I've said on the board already.
Well, I mean
If I
that's
put
just simple elimination, is all.
if I put my foot in my mouth, I put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna say Flamme took the top spot.
So you think you ranked Flamme high enough that well, you think also that I liked Flamme better than everyone else?
Yes.
I mean, she was the hottest girl on the show. Well, technically second hottest, but the other one we didn't put on the chart because the other woman was only there for a sign for his older woman fetish.
Yeah.
So, might have outranked some people on our board here for appearance on my end. All right, S tier is. You were wrong. Of course, Frieren is the highest ranked person in the show called Frieren. I'll tell you that though,
I
that's your
wasn't
fault.
that far off though.
Well, I mean, that's your fault. I actually think I gave Himmel maybe tens across the board, so it had to have been your fault that Himmel
Oh,
did not get up there with Frieren.
and it absolutely is. It abs. So okay, Himmel's character development is trash.
Himmel's
I am
character development
sorry.
is the whole
We
point of the show.
no, it's not. It's Frieren's.
Oh, I would have argued. I would have
It's
more agreed with you for if
Frieren's.
it was Fern, because Fern might be for the present day. Himmel's character development is what leads Frieren through the whole fucking journey.
No, because we don't meet a Himmel that hasn't developed those qualities yet.
What
You
are you
see those
talking about?
qualities from the beginning.
No, no, we don't. Next to last episode, we see Himmel as a child,
We see
changed in his life by
we
Frieren.
see one flashback to him seeing somebody make flowers and going, "I'm gonna be a hero."
Well, no, actually, it made him love magic. It wasn't about him being a hero. The him
So,
being a hero part was him. Well, technically, he's a hero before he tries to pull the sword out that would prove he's a hero. The sword proves he's not a hero, technically. So it's
so
more about him being a hero, despite what legends and fate says about him.
that is why Himmel got a 10 on distinctive personality because he had that shit from the beginning. He didn't develop. He was Himmel the hero when he was a kid.
See, the thing is, I don't think you have a leg to stand on here because you elevated Mutt based on how he changed other people's story. And
Ah,
Himmel elevated everybody's story. People who never met Himmel were elevated
but
by
that's
Himmel's
not
story.
Himmel's character development,
No, it's compelling backstory.
which he got a 9.
Also, again, you elevated Mutt
Yeah.
because he elevated Stark, and that's character development.
Hmm.
So Himmel
It's also
elevated
a kid.
every fucking person's
It's
character
You
development.
also see a kid getting better and learning to train. Himmel started off as Himmel from the beginning. He did not have to get better. He just got experienced.
Again, I don't want to keep harping on this Mutt thing, but it's like the very
Go
first
for it.
example. No, it's the very first example of this. So in this respect, Himmel elevated Frieren. He literally took her from the woods and put her on this whole journey. Himmel is the start of Frieren's journey.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna check out what I gave Mutt for backstory. I
Well,
gave them the same.
I'm just working on what you said earlier.
So character development, I gave them the same. Because they started out where they finished.
Mutt? Yeah, no.
And Himmel. He
Maybe
start
maybe forgotten, but I said Mutt was F tier and you raised him up.
so for Mutt, significant character development, I gave a 5. For Himmel, significant character development, I gave a 5. Because they did not develop. They started at the point that we saw them finish.
I am really gonna try and let's see. Oh, that's my Google Drive. That's not my Google Doc. I did not have this ready, but I really want to see what I ranked Mutt at, just so we can
Mhm.
clarify how low I thought of Mutt.
Let's compare Mutt scores. Let's do it.
Okay. Distinctive personality. You gave Mutt what? I gave him a 3. He had literally almost no personality. He was not lacking a personality, which gave him more than a 1. Compelling backstory. 6, yeah, I gave him a 5. The story of the ill-begotten child is the same story as Stark. It's the same story as Mutt. That's why they have similar backstories.
Agreed.
Iconic visual design.
That bitch was one of the only bowl cuts in the show. I gotta give him. I gotta give it to him.
Is that a bowl cut? I think he's a squire. I think he's a squire cut.
It absolutely looks so close to a bowl cut.
A bowl cut wouldn't have the bangs. The bangs is a squire motif, I believe.
Either way, 5.
Yeah, he looks like every other fucking background NPC, except maybe a little bit better, so a 3. Again,
Dope.
you gave 5 as the middle. I don't
Yeah.
know what negative qualities people need for them to go low on your scale. Emotional resonance. Also a 5. Again, it's the ill-begotten child motif. And significant character development. 3 again. See, the things you did a 5 for, I gave 3s for.
Yep.
Yeah, he had no personal character development. You know what the character development? His dad, Stark.
Yes.
No, not him.
Do you
He
know who also
doesn't
didn't?
even know what's going on.
Himmel. Himmel did not develop a character. Himmel was the same dude who was going around helping people
Okay, let's go back
every
and
time
cover
we
this.
saw him.
Go back to your Himmel scores.
Yeah.
Distinctive personality.
10.
10. 10. Compelling backstory.
9.
10. I really liked his backstory because,
It was
again,
dope.
yeah, I'm not covering just because of his childhood thing. Every flashback is
Yeah, of
his
course.
backstory.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Plus the
we'll
fact he
give him
was
that.
like, what, 87 when he died? Everything was his fucking
Yeah,
backstory.
something like that.
Iconic visual design.
8.
10. I don't know anybody else in anime. Again, my judgment is across anime, not just Frieren. I don't know
Mine isn't
anybody.
even across Frieren. It's also what's striking color-wise and all that, too.
Yeah. The concept that we could walk past statues and instantly know that that's a statue of Himmel. Even I mean, there's a lot of blue-haired characters in anime, but even with the armor and everything, no one in Frieren looks like him. No one else in anime that I can think of. I would not confuse Himmel for anyone else.
Done.
Emotional resonance.
8.
10. Dude, remembering that back in episode 1, Frieren is wearing the ring that he gives her later on. Every element, the floral headband, the head patch, every fucking thing. Himmel talking about why he does stuff. Himmel's egotistical nature about posing for statues, or he had 70 poses for the artist that was trying to draw him as a reward. Himmel is filled with emotional resonance for me.
Himmel's emotional resonance for me has potential to easily become a 10 if there is any future Frieren episodes.
Plus
But
the
to me,
fact,
it only hit 8.
plus the fact he fell in love with his elf in the woods early in his life and just became a hero. For what feels like her.
I see why you would go to 10. I definitely see why.
Significant character development.
He's the same person.
He's
Beginning
not.
and end.
He's not. Also, I
Yeah.
think you're counting his backstory as not part of his present.
No, I absolutely am. He is the same person, but older. When you meet him, to the time he's gone.
I don't think, as the person who's currently combing his beard, you're putting enough respect on the fact that old man Himmel, though bald, spent a lot of time on that beard before he went out that day.
And I respect the beard.
That's character development, man.
A beard is not character
How about
development.
the fact he held on to what seemed to be a cursed object in his thing because it was what a friend gave him?
Okay. That's not character development. That's you holding on to something.
All the character development is also all those flashbacks where he's teaching Frieren how to be a person and how to care about stuff.
That's not his character development, though. That's
You can't
hers.
argue that when you say that Mutt gets more character development for helping other people.
But that's why they're both out of 5.
Yeah, you're raising Mutt and bringing down Himmel.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I can't agree with that, but that's why there are individual. I'm not arguing that you should raise yours or anything. It's done. So
Yeah.
it
And
is what it is.
also, if there is future Frieren episodes and we get to see more of the change and to get to see Himmel in heaven or the end and all that, that could easily go up. But
Oh
this
yeah.
is very much a Frieren focused story,
Let's not
which
forget the
I think should get the
vision.
spotlight.
Let's not forget the vision of Himmel, which implies what we know of him from Fearon's point of view to the fact the vision of Himmel literally did not attack them.
But that I've given my rank.
Yeah, well, you know me, gotta have the final word. I'm that guy. But I'm just saying, the vision
Yep.
of Himmel was so solidified in Fearon's mind that the guy who created it's like somebody in your thing casting, what's that? The illusion thing. The illusions attack people and they deal like mental
Oh.
damage.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
spell.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's like,
Phantasmal image.
yeah,
No,
phantasmal
no,
image,
no.
and then the phantasmal image just like decasts itself because the person imagining it could not, in any imagination, think of it hurting them.
So they made the saving throw. Good job.
I just said, Himmel, man, he's the best of us. And Fern just barely reaching S tier, which I guess is its own insult.
I think that might have been me pulling Fern up.
Oh, you
It
think I ranked Fern low, and it's you who elevated Fern.
it had to have been because
Why? Is
I don't
Fern
have a
your
score
Himmel?
below 7 for Fern.
Neither do I.
I have a 7, 2 8s, and 2 10s.
Remember, for Fern to be in S tier, we both had to have ranked her pretty high. Okay,
Yes,
let's play this game again.
let's do it.
Distinctive personality. 7. She is kind of one note. Every time I'm a little upset, puffy cheek, I need snack food. She has
Yeah,
a
but I
lot
know.
of
Yeah.
episodes where she does character develop, namely between her and Frieren early on, her and Lugner during the fight, where it's stuff that we're realizing about it that her developments have kind of happened off screen a little bit.
So
Personality wise, her personality
yeah,
has developed a little bit off screen. That's why she didn't go full 10 for me, but
the moment that distinctive personality kicked in was the final exam when she was talking with Siri.
sure. But I mean, I think that's still in a 7 range for me. I think it's the same thing that you're saying about significant character development. For me, it's distinctive personality. It's her personality is just the same, and I've seen throughout anime a lot of these, pouty faced girls. So,
Got it.
compelling backstory.
8.
9. I mean, basically, her backstory is the impetus of the show. Our
Yes.
parents, her parents died. Frieren gets kind of tricked into teaching her magic so that she can bring her along, so that Hyder knows that she's been taken care of after he is no longer able to take care of her. Because at the show's end, everything is kind of just her backstory.
Yeah, that's why for me it was only an 8.
Again, I think since the show's impetus is on her, that kind of elevates it a little bit beyond. Because I think my default with that would have been like a 7, but the feel of the show kind of
Mm-hmm.
makes it a 9.
Yep.
Iconic visual design,
7.
8. See, so far you're the one actually dragging her down. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I guess technically I am. Since you gave her a 10 on the first thing, that makes us a 3 point difference, and then it's 2 point
Yep.
difference here. So you're actually raising her up by 1 point. Yeah, I mean, there's like a 1 point wiggle room between us on this. I think it's just she doesn't look like anybody else that I know from anime. There's probably generic isekai out there that have characters that look like her.
Insert witchy spellcaster. That's what she looks like to me. But it didn't bother me, and the purple hair was distinctive in the show, and matching the eyes brought it up to the 7.
Eh. Emotional resonance,
8.
8. So, agreement. Significant character development.
Bam.
One down. I gave her a 9. So yeah, it turns out I did drag her down by 2 points. So otherwise, she would have been above Flame if I had agreed with
Yes.
you on points. I just really liked Flame, and I think my memory of Flame is where my points went to the later Flame, not the Flame the teacher or the Flame that rescues or rather discovers Frieren, but the
Hmm.
Flame that talks to Siri about things, the Flame that loved
Yes.
casting flowers, child Flame from Siri's own memory. Those versions of Flame are what carried it for me.
So the only things that I did not give Flame a 10 were distinctive personality and iconic visual design.
You know, it's funny. I didn't give Flame any tens, but the two that you listed are my highest scores for her.
So her backstory got the perfect amount of covering, in my opinion. The emotional resonance, as and this is left open ended, it's never confirmed. Training Frieren to be better than her at the thing that's needed, incredible. In character development, you saw different stages of life and the patience and everything. You see growth.
I think it's funny you said we haven't seen this yet, and I thought you were about to say how she's going to be the villain of the show, according to you. You fool, I taught you to fight demons, but you didn't expect me. I don't know. Again, I thought her distinctive personality and iconic visual design were the best qualities on the ranking for her. I mean, nobody else thinks like her until she teaches Viren to think like her. She's kind of just like this, I don't know, just like eccentric mage, basically.
That's what put the character development over the top for me, because she did something that so few mentors ever do.
And of course, like I said, I think she's the hottest woman in the show, so iconic
Mhm.
visual design was a 9.
She
Not a lot of
taught.
redheads out there.
It is implied that she taught Fern everything she knows.
Viren.
Sorry, Frieren.
I mean, I
It's
guess
implied
through the
that Flamme.
transitive properties, I guess, maybe.
No. It's implied that Flamme taught Frieren everything she knows, which takes so much res- not even respect, but the ability to put one's pride aside.
I guess not everything. They did have to go find her tome,
True,
and
but
then she
that's
had to cast
also
a
a
spell from the
lesson.
tome. Well, she also told Firen to do it, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, Firen, #1 ranked in the show about her.
Yeah, she only was short 3 points of a perfect score for me.
2 points short of a perfect score for me. Where did she lack in yours?
8 for compelling backstory, and 9 for iconic visual.
Oh, that's right. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't math out, right? It's like, I went dumb for a second. Say them again? What? Just don't give me the numbers. What are you?
Compelling backstory and iconic visual.
Oh, nobody looks like Firen in anime. Nobody looks like Firen. That's iconic.
For for me, the hairstyle is what dropped it that 1 point. It's I don't know why.
I think you just don't like ponytails.
I no, it's not that. I don't know why. It looked great. It worked perfectly on her,
How
but for
many
some
elvish?
reason,
How many elvish mages? How many elvish mages also kind of pull off the sailor look with the striped shirts? That's what I'm saying. So fucking iconic.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know why it dropped it. but it did.
And what was the other one again? I know it's the third time I've asked. What was the third?
Backstory.
Oh man, the whole show was a fucking backstory. I guess it's the Himmel thing again for you.
Yeah.
For me, I only dropped her in one category, and that was distinctive personality, which is to say, she fucking lacks a real personality. She's got a distinctive one, I can't mark her off for that, but literally her whole thing is that she's like really low on the emotional spectrum of displaying it, which is the whole personality thing.
To me, that is what made her distinctive, because the moment that she did it mattered.
I mean, of course, that's why I gave her an 8 in distinctive personality. Otherwise, it's 10s across the board. But
Hmm.
the lack of personality is her personality. But also, she is a female lead that doesn't care about sexual encounters, which is kind of distinctive across anime heroines.
I figured that was the case.
Well, I mean, I didn't like enter in heavily. Again, I think my first thought was she's a personality-less character. So, it kind of dropped her down a bit, and then it's like, well, I can't drop her down too much. It's literally her personality. And that's kind of distinctive. It's a it's a gamble, right? To make the main character the least personality filled character of the show, because it kind of requires the entire other cast to lift them up, and that's what's happening.
Yep.
Everybody else is the mutt to Frieren, as it
Yeah,
were.
exactly.
So yeah, that is the rank. Like I said, the bell curve got kind of thrown here because I think if some of these characters in the middle had actually gotten down to F tier, if they hadn't gotten lifted up, or even if the D tier characters had gone down to F tier and the other characters had represented that, because typically it's kind of like a, you know, S tier is where I think the S tier is rationally where it normally would be. A tier would
Yeah.
probably be like one or two characters less. C tier would be one or two characters less. B tier, well, it would either be B tier is where it is or C tier is where it is, and every other one would be a little bit less.
So I think A would have stayed the same. I think you would have seen the changes for the amount in B and C and F. Because I think D would have had a similar amount, but maybe different people.
Well, I think the thing is that if you look at it, nobody is really at the bottom of their categories. Everyone is a
Yes.
good margin above the bottom, which means that we agree, sort of, that everybody is relatively where they should be in those categories. Like, we technically don't agree. See? But,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, the math shows that we both kind of agree.
So, in that case, other than S tier or A tier, is there anybody who you think has the perfect score? I have one person who I think has
Well,
the
I mean, I've
perfect
said
score.
who the what the math says who has the perfect score, and that's Method because
I'm saying
50.
opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there one last time
Yeah.
before because I haven't tried to figure it out yet. But I'm just pointing back to Method is literally halfway across the board, which means she's not high or low. That we both kind of agreed that she was the middle character of the show.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, why don't you go first while I think this through? Who is perfectly where they're supposed to be?
Gorilla Warrior.
Why do you think? I mean,
Gorilla Warrior was a big part of introducing a character. Had potential to be cool, but ultimately had no impact on the story really whatsoever.
I don't know. The thing is
So
that
you
the Guerrilla Warrior is in that like middle bunch of characters where they all feel like they're generally where they belong. Well, some of them, not this guy, obviously, but I mean,
Gorilla
I
Warrior is Methode if Methode wasn't in the exams.
I mean, Guerrilla Warrior feels like he belongs where he is, just the same way that Bly does, in which is that most of their development was handled in like one or two episodes, and that was meh. God, who
Hmm.
feels like? I mean, obviously you said obviously beyond S and A tier.
Yeah. Because S and A are obvious.
Because I think the extremes are kind of also obvious. Like Basalt Throne feels like he is where he belongs, which is to say, he died before we ever knew him.
Yeah.
We know Basalt the Throne based on the death that he left behind. I want to say land, but I would also argue that maybe land could have been higher.
See, that's what I was expecting.
I was also expecting Aura to be higher, so I can't really stick with that. I wanted Eri to be higher, so you know that you brought her down. I really liked her interactions with Warble, and so it's like personality, the backstory that she displayed that Warble saved her. A lot of it was there. Uh, I don't know, Lugner, I think I raised him up, so maybe not him. I really like that Graf Granite and Lord Orden kind of got into the same category because they're both similar characters with kind of similar backstories, except one son is dead, the other isn't.
Yep.
For maybe Stark? No, not Stark. Obviously got a problem with these two because I think they should have been reversed. You know, maybe Hyder? No, I really feel like Hyder should have been higher, but I can only blame myself. Oh, sorry, I've gone into A tier. I've zoomed out, zoomed beyond my. I'm gonna say Qual. I wish in my heart that Qual had been higher, but I know he's probably where he should be, which is the height of B tier, and it's probably he's elevated beyond where he should be, even though I wish he was higher.
I
So,
wouldn't say he's elevated
you've already
because
told me why you would have ranked him lower, and the
so
fact that I want him higher kind of evens the ground.
that's what I'm saying. Because his impact on the world of the story is undeniable. Like the killing magic becoming a normal thing, thus leading to everything that it did. I think he's at him at the top of B makes perfect sense.
Like I said, I would have liked him to be higher. You would have liked him to be lower, which evens out our opinions, which makes me recognize the reality of the situation is Qual is as high as he possibly could be. So I think the reality of that is that he is where exactly probably perfect on this chart. That I think if Qual had been more of a character in the story, like
Yes.
if he wasn't just a one-off villain, like in a story where Qual didn't die but was running around in the background, following them through. Like Qual witnesses Aura's death and starts working on a new spell to try and take Frieren out because he is the mastermind of magic when it comes to demons. Even though we know there's another tier of creature in the north that works on the higher level magics, haven't met them yet.
Yep.
That Qual is just the mastermind. Also, goddamn it, you gotta respect the fact he's wearing all this shit. We know what demons look like. They just look like people. So he's wearing these like furs and a
Yeah.
mask and everything. So
So you don't even have to do that much more with Qual to pull him up for me. You could have, even if you stretch Qual over 2 episodes and have the escape from the prison happen, or from like the petrification, then have half of the next episode be about them stopping Qual from causing trouble again. That pulls him up to A for me.
well, I know I described this alternate scenario for him, but you know what it really would be? It would be the Frieren journey from the other side. Say any other Demon King survivors remembering what it was like when Frieren and party were marching up, and you know, yeah, you remember when it was me, Basalt the Throne, Qual, and Aura all going out on this journey down south to crush the human kingdoms, and remembering Qual working on this new kind of magic, and
Yeah,
Aura raising the army and their interactions with one another, that would raise Qual up through the perspective of the same way Eisen gets raised up, the same way Himmel gets raised up
exactly.
through the memory of what's been done in the past. And I feel like that's the kind of thing. apropos of nothing, because obviously I don't know anything about the manga, but it feels like the storytelling mechanism that Frieren
Yes.
Beyond Journey's End would do if we were trying to humanize a demon near the end. Kind of do that. Although we've tried to do that in the past, I feel like with
The girl.
yeah, there's no name there, but you know how she says, "Oh, I'm trying to make amends because I killed this girl, so I've killed this parent, so now you and their child can be together." That was obviously um, some psychopathic logic there, but you could see where somebody who doesn't have emotions or an understanding of things would try to make things right that way. I kind of feel like they were wrong for killing them, but at the same time, that was a double homicide, so you're kind of getting the death penalty anyway.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, that story really stuck with me because it's like, I see where the demon's coming from, but at the same time, you killed a child and a parent, and they weren't the same family.
Agreed.
All right, well, that has been our ranking of the characters of Season 1, Fear and Beyond Journey's End. Uh,
Hopefully.
if there's any Season 2, we'll see you then. Otherwise, this is it for us now. Check out other videos on the channel if you want to see more of our reactions, other content. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?